deck available. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat.
Got that.
Never mind, Kristi's got it. And this is why Kristi's here, to keep me on the rails. All right, so hi everybody, I am Michael McGarry. I'm the Instructional Technology Lead for the Teaching Learning Innovations team. For those of you that I may not know, I see a lot of familiar faces and names in the participant list, which is great because I feel like I haven't seen anybody in forever, so it's cool to see you guys here. And I am joined by Kristi O'Neil-Gonzalez, my colleague. She's our accessibility league and all-around guru and bails me out of trouble constantly. So she's here to help kind of facilitate some question and answer stuff. Since this isn't a formalized webinar, as we were expecting, we don't have a Q&A section down at the bottom, but we do have the chat. So feel free to go ahead and put questions in the chat as I'm going through some stuff, and then we can try to answer them in real time. We'll also have some time, hopefully at the end, just for some general discussions and things like that. If you guys have any lingering questions about what I talked about, or even if it's stuff that I didn't talk about, we can dive into it with the extra time at the end. Yeah, so and then Kristi has put a link to this slide deck in the chat as well, just so you guys can refer back to it after the fact, because there is some notes and some links and stuff in here that obviously you guys won't be able to do anything with as I'm screen sharing, but there's a lot of helpful stuff toward the end that you guys might want to look at. So with that all being said, I think I've gotten all the housekeeping items in order. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. So I'm sure that you guys have seen that giant glaring announcement in Canvas if you guys have logged in at all this week. If you haven't, there's a big giant announcement from me announcing some new features that have come through in the last week or so. And we're just going to kind of give a little high level overview of what some of those things are, give you a little more context of what they are, and get you kind of basically checked in with some of the key changes that those entail. So first thing we're going to look at is an update to the updated rich content editor in Canvas. If you guys have started building any pages or announcements or anything like that, I'm sure you've noticed it looks a little bit different than it used to. So it looks something like this beautiful little screenshot here. The main thing to note here is you didn't really lose any of the functionality that was in there. A lot of it was kind of a cosmetic update with some streamlined functionality. So some of the key features, and I'm going to show what this looks like actually in a Canvas instance as well, so you're not just looking at a slide of all of this. But some of the biggest changes that they did make are this whole sidebar that you used to have on the side that used to have quick links to course content. You've probably noticed that's no longer there front and center. That content does still exist though. The workflow is just a little different. And again, I'm going to show you that in a sec. Another one is if you were using external tools such as ShareStream videos or Dropbox links or stuff like that, the icon for where those are housed has changed, but none of the services have gone away. We didn't get rid of anything. Some other things to show that I'm just going to switch over to it right now so you guys can see them. I'm going to use an announcement just as a quick test or demo rather. So in this new editor, as we were saying before, you used to have this sidebar that showed up on the right, which was kind of the easy way to, if you had documents in your course, or if you wanted to link quickly to any of the links over here on the course menu or pages you've created, you're easily able to highlight some text and then click it from over on that side. And then the text that you had highlighted and selected would link to that course content. So that's gone now, but if we want to do that same sort of thing, say I wanted to make a quick link that goes to this syllabus page that I've built out, I would type it out and highlight it like I normally would. And then instead of looking for that sidebar on the right, if you click this link button and the drop down, you have two options for external links and course links. Course links is going to pull out this pretty familiar looking sidebar that we had. They basically collapsed it so that you have more room to write and create your content and view it. So if you click that option, this will all pop back up, and this should look pretty familiar from where we were at. So with that text selected, I can go ahead and hit course navigation, and then I can go ahead and select my syllabus option, and then you'll see that the text turned blue. And you also get these little kind of in-text editor tooltip type thing. So instead of going and hitting a break link button, I could also just hit remove link or link options. That'll pull this back up if I wanted to change it. So one of the biggest changes is that little addition right there. The other one I was noting was the additional external tools icon, not additional, the replacement of. So there used to be, for those of you that were using, maybe you were dropping in some files from Google Drive, or if you were embedding videos from ShareStream directly in a page, there used to be this little blue drop-down arrow, which is where all those external tools used to live. Those have been swapped out for this new little plug icon, which has been dubbed apps. And if you click this, you get same list of stuff that we had. It's just a little bit bigger, a little more room to read, but it functions all the same once you get into it. So if I wanted to grab a ShareStream asset, for instance, I could go ahead and click ShareStream there. This will load up all the assets I have in my course eventually. I think I have like 4 courses worth of stuff copied into here right now, so it takes a little longer to load. There we go. So yeah, I have all of Paul's stuff, and since Paul's in here, I can point him out. So we could hit add, and then that'll drop it into the text editor as we're kind of used to seeing. You also have the YouTube button that was dedicated in the editor bar is still there. It's just moved a little bit. So that's still in place. This functions exactly the same as it used to. You go ahead and click this, you can search for YouTube and directly drop a YouTube video in, and it'll give you different embed options as you get your search results. One other thing, or a couple other things in here, if you're using anything that had an embed code, historically, what you would have to do is grab that embed code, and then you would have to switch to the HTML editor, and then you would paste the embed code in there. And if it was the next thing you were adding in your page, it was pretty straightforward. If you wanted to drop it into the middle of a page and you don't have very much experience editing or working with HTML, it was really easy to get lost with where you were placing it. Fortunately, they've added this direct embed button on the right. If you're not seeing this all the way on the right, this bar does expand and get shorter depending on your window size. So if it looks something like that, it'll just be hidden under a little 3-dot button. But it's this little cloud icon with the little source code carrots underneath it. And if you click this, it'll allow you just to paste the embed code that you want to drop into the page wherever your cursor is, and then hit submit, and it'll drop that embedded piece of content where your cursor is at. So again, trying to make it a little easier to use the kind of WYSIWYG editor aspect of this interface, as opposed to having to figure out how to read and sift through HTML code to figure out where you want to embed stuff. So again, trying to make things a little bit easier, but the rearrangement and changes definitely a little can be jarring if you didn't see the announcement coming through and haven't played with it too much. And the last thing, for those of you that might like messing with HTML code, you'll notice the HTML editor button that used to be up in the upper right part of the editor is now gone. But you can still access the HTML of your pages and your content by clicking this little guy that's down now in the lower right. It's again the little code arrows. Click that and it'll switch this over to your HTML view. And then if you click it again in the bottom, it'll flip you back to the rich text editor. So those are some of the kind of more nuanced high-level changes that have happened in here. Beyond that, most of it, as you can tell, for your text formatting and stuff like that, the icons are pretty much the same. They're a little cleaner, but everything else for the most part is where it was when it comes to formatting your text. Yeah, so with that, I'm gonna, yeah, sure.
It looked to me like I didn't have quite the same option in terms of whether you, the link, a hyperlink opens up in a new window. When I was trying I don't know, like I think the default might be open in a new window now, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting to that. I don't see the same thing when I do like Command K or if I go to that link.
Right. So the Command K shortcut, for those of you that used to use that to create links, that did now. So when you use it, it just pulls up like this. It used to have a little drop down that said target, and you could select new window. I believe, like you said, Stacy, the default now is if it's an external link, it's pointing to a new window by default, I believe. I haven't tested it actually, so I'll confirm that and make sure that that's the case. But that definitely tripped me up a little bit when I was first looking at this too, because that's that's how I make links to everything. And I was like, where's my option? Yeah. So I think again, that is kind of the differentiation they're making here, is if it's a course link, it'll keep you within, and if you're doing external, I believe it's automatically just pushing out.
I feel like they're going to maybe change it later because it says link options, but there aren't really options.
Yeah, and this, like a lot of Canvas's stuff, is going to be kind of a moving target. The nice thing is they've pushed this into a more modular architecture on their end, so they can make changes to it easier than the classic one. But they did have a little bit of resistance, I think, which is why they're making an opt-in feature for now. So technically, you can switch back to the classic editor if you really hate this one. However, that is going to go away eventually. So obviously, the sooner you get used to it and adapt to it, in the long run, you'll be saving yourself some more kind of future heartache. But yeah.
Michael, I have a question for you.
Sure.
The icon that's to the left of the YouTube icon looks like a document. When you click on it, it says upload document, course document, or user document. What is a user document?
So within course documents, you'll see the files and stuff for that you've uploaded to this course, but you're also able to add your own personal files to Canvas that aren't linked directly to a course. They're linked to your account. So that's what user documents would be. And students will have the same thing. So say they have their own repository of files, like images or something like that, that they have just to their account. That way, when they get new classes, maybe it's stuff they need to reuse. I'm hoping it's not papers, because that'd be weird, but you never know. So that'll pull up your own user repository. So these are like my own files here, as opposed to ones that are directly in this course.
Okay.
Whereas if I hit course documents, it'll pull up the files that are directly from here. And you can change, this has gotten some different views now too. So you can kind of filter by documents or images. And then you can also kind of change this around too.
Michael, we have a follow-up to that, asking if you have to add the file to the course first, because you can't, can you add it still directly from your computer?
You can right here. So that's what the upload document will do. So if I hit upload document here, this will allow me to upload a file, and that's going to the course if I do it this way. So that'll go into course files and directly into this page or assignment or whatever it is that I'm editing. It'll do all of it in one step. So that kind of takes over how on the sidebar you were able to go to files, upload new. This is how you would do that now. So even though it says document, you can upload images and stuff like that too.
Michael, oh, sorry. And Michael, I found out when you do that upload, when that icon comes up, you still have to click on that, on the icon. I was going all over the page trying to find something to click on. You got to click on right in the middle there in order to.
Yeah, so you have to click the big rocket to pull up your browser.
Right.
Yeah. Or if you had something like on a, in a smaller window or another screen, you could drag it over here and that'll also do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Michael, when
you popped up?
Yeah, when I do that, when I used and selected the rocket, it takes forever to upload it, I found. And then if I go through files over in the navigation bar, which is an extra step, then from there, upload file, it will immediately upload, but it doesn't upload well at all from doing it that way.
And that could
now
be
an extra step.
Yeah, that could be due to a variety of things. I mean, that could be bandwidth issues. That could be servers being clogged on Canvas's end as all these schools are coming back. So if you do run into that, yeah, just going directly through files is another way to go ahead and do that. Cool. All right, so that's the text editor changes that we had. On that, I'm going to work on showing you guys the new assignments workflow for VoiceThread. So this one is, if you guys aren't using VoiceThread as a tool in your course, this may not mean much to you, but if you are, this is definitely something that's worth checking out. The nice thing about it right now is it is in an opt-in format. And you can opt in on a course by course basis. So it's not like you have to turn on the new features across all your classes. You can literally just do it in one to get used to it. And one of the biggest features that they pushed in here that we're really liking is they've created what's called a student gallery, which makes peer-to-peer type assignments a lot easier than they used to be. So historically, if you've done a VoiceThread assignment where, say the assignment is for each student to create their own VoiceThread, or a group of students to create their own VoiceThread, and then you want the other students in the class to be able to see the work that their peers created and comment on it. That process, if you've done it before, is a little cumbersome in the sense that you basically have to create the assignment where they create stuff, and then you have to create a separate link, which is a course view, so that students can go and actually see everything that's been shared with the class, find which ones they actually were created by their peers, and then comment on them. This new workflow makes it so with this student gallery option enabled on an assignment, all of that gets tied into one. There's no need to do the course view link anymore. It really makes it so that once an assignment has been submitted by a student, all the students will have a student gallery button that they can click, and they'll be able to view the VoiceThreads that have been submitted by their peers just for that assignment. So the other benefit is it's just showing things that have been created for that assignment they're working in, as opposed to the course view link, which if you used, just shows all of the VoiceThreads that have been shared with the course, whether they were created by you as the instructor, whether they were created by their peers, whether they were created by their peers for 2 assignments back. It's all just in one bucket, so it makes it a lot harder to actually find. And they have some other enhancements in there as well. The interface gets a little bit cleaner. You have a little bit more customization with the options. But we have the steps here of how to go ahead and activate this. I'm going to walk through it really quick just so you guys can see it. Again, we're going to share this slide deck with everyone, so don't feel like you have to go through and commit this to memory right now. But some of the steps, it helps to see. I know I'm a visual person, so I like seeing stuff worked out really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And where you'll want to start is in Canvas. It doesn't have to be the course you want. You can be just on the main dashboard. But then you go ahead and click the little help icon over on the left, and then you'll click the VoiceThread link. That will open up VoiceThread in a new tab. And if you are already logged in, it'll push you straight into your VoiceThread interface like this. If you're not, there'll be a sign-in button in the upper right where you'll just go ahead and click sign in, search for Channel Islands, and it'll take you through the MyCI process. And then once you get in, you'll have your list of courses on the left. And then from here, you can just find the course that you want to turn the new features on for. So for instance, this filmography design course is the one that I'm looking at right now in Canvas. So if I hover my cursor, you'll get this course settings icon. And when you click that, this is where you'll have the option to turn the new features on. So it'll say your course name at the top, and then you can go ahead and click the new features button down at the bottom. And I've already enabled this, but the default, it'll be off. So you can check the button for start using this new feature for this course, and then hit save. And it's going to tell me that you can't because it's already there. And it's going to tell you that it might take a little while for the new assignment options to appear in your class. When I did this, it was pretty instantaneous, but you might want to give it a few minutes just to make sure they take. And then from there, when you start actually creating a VoiceThread assignment, you will see the new interface. So I've already created one of these just to kind of show you what that general new interface will kind of look like. So this is an assignment, like I said, that's already been created. But even just on this window, you'll notice it looks a little bit different. And you can see the student gallery button is here. So I had it set up with that option enabled. You don't have to, but I did set that up. So students will see this button similar in their view when they create their own work. Another thing that they've added, again, with just the additional options, is you can set minimum comments even on a create VoiceThread assignment. So you'll see some additional things in here if you go ahead and opt to use this, but it is pretty cool. This is another one where the new features are going to become default eventually, but that change isn't coming until June 30th, I believe, at which point the these new features will become the default for everybody using VoiceThread. So again, you can go ahead and try using them. If you're using VoiceThread in your courses, you can go ahead and try it just with one class. You could also create a sandbox course if you want and just enable them in the sandbox course just to play around. It's up to you. And you can always reach out to us for help with this too if you end up going this route. All right.
Can
And
I
Yeah.
ask you a quick question on that?
Sure.
If the voice threads are already posted and in the class and we want to enable the new, will it just automatically have our new features and the ones already posted?
Unfortunately, you'll have to recreate them. That you won't have to recreate the voice thread.
Right, but recreate the assignments.
Yeah, and really the biggest, from what we've seen, the biggest changes, they really apply to if you're using the assignment builder option. If you're just linking to an individual voice thread for your students to watch and stuff, there's not really a change there. So if that's what you're doing, not a big deal. But if you do have some assignment builder ones, if you just go into the Canvas settings and just basically, actually with VoiceThread, you'll have to actually delete the assignment and then recreate a new one instead of just hitting external tool again, and then set it up from there. And then you should see the whole new interface once the options are checked. Yep. Okay. And the last new thing I'm going to tell you guys about is a new tool, well, newer tool. We've been piloting it for about almost a year, I think at this point. But we've expanded the pilot to keep going and opened it up to more users. And the tool is called Playposit. This is a video engagement tool. So for those of you that make use of either videos you've created or videos created by third parties in your courses, this tool allows you to do engaging kind of like, it's deeper engagement for your students that overlay on top of the video. So for instance, if we have a video of a TED Talk and there's a certain point that you want to highlight and ask students about, you can put that question or discussion point directly over the video at that specific moment in time. And then your students can actually interact with the video as it's playing. There's also, I mean, just doing a simple question like that, they can be open-ended. They can be kind of like quiz type questions. There's a lot of different engagement types in this tool that you can do. The cool thing about it too is it does allow you to get kind of real-time analytics as your students are engaging with it. So at any point you can go ahead and monitor an activity. You can see how many questions have been answered. You can see who's actually engaged with it, who hasn't answered anything. All of those kinds of things are available from the monitor for you as an instructor. And the assignments, if you build them that way, they do connect to the Canvas gradebook. So as they're going through the different engagements, they call them bulbs in Playposit. That's their coined term. As students are going through the bulbs, you'll be able to see how they're doing. Their points will acclimate, or they'll aggregate, and you can push the scores from Playposit into the gradebook as well. The one caveat to note about this tool is currently it only works with Vimeo and YouTube videos. So if you are doing your own, for instance, lecture capture type videos, and you're either sharing them via a Zoom share link, or if you're uploaded them into ShareStream and you're sharing them that way, neither of those will work with Playposit. You'll need to go ahead and actually add that video to a YouTube channel and then share it via the link. You can publish your videos as unlisted as long as you can get the link to the video. You can still use this. So it's not like you have to push yourself to the open wild west of YouTube. You can go ahead and have a fairly locked down channel still, but leverage this on top of it. So we have created a module within another course that we've created called Beyond Canvas, but there's a Playposit module in there, and Playposit has developed a playlist of instructional videos called Playposite Academy. The cool thing about this is the entire thing is built using Playposit. So while you're learning about how to use the tool, you're also experiencing the tool as a student would. So you can go through this whole course, and it'll basically give you the ins and outs of how to use this thing. And again, these links aren't doing you any good on your screen currently, but if you open up the slide deck, you'll be able to click these. The first step is just enrolling in this Beyond Canvas course. And then once you're there, you can click the second link, which will take you straight to the start of the Playposit module. And then from there, you can go through and learn some more. We also have some other resources available for getting started with Playposit that are at the end of this slide deck. So if you want to dive deeper into it and not necessarily go through a whole self-paced course, you have those options as well. I see Catherine has her hand up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. And I didn't mean to applaud the only using.
I took the encouragement. I'm happy.
I do applaud you, Michael, for sure.
What's up?
I'm wondering if those of you in the know about this can speak to what the, I guess, difference or added benefit of a Playposit versus putting a video in like a lecture or whatever in VoiceThread and having, because students can comment on videos there as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're right. You can do it both ways. Both tools are great. They both do great things. The thing that I personally like about Playposit is that it's a little more real-time engagement, for lack of a better way to frame that, in the sense that I can have questions and interactions at different points in the video, as opposed to I put my lecture video up there and then I have a following slide where it's like, answer these key questions. And then depending on how it worked as a student, I might have to flip back to the video, find the spot that it's asking about, then flip back. Whereas using Playposit, say I had a point where in my lecture, I'm asking a question at like 2.5 minutes. When the video hits that 2.5 minute point, the interaction will show up automatically and the students can interact with it right then and there and then keep going. And then they can always bounce back too. And then you can do other kind of interesting things. So it's like, say you answer or you ask a question about a minute chunk of the video that just played, right? Say they get it wrong, you can make the nature of the video automatically jump back to the start of a point and be like, maybe you need to rewatch this section. And if they get it wrong, it'll push and replay that video again to drive them back and then re-answer it. So it has a little bit deeper engagement. I would say there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it.
Right. And so even though you can like put a comment at a certain timestamp or something in VoiceThread, it doesn't pop up automatically. So that's the main difference, right?
And it's not like a direct response. It's you're a little more limited in the type of like interaction you can have in VoiceThread too. It's basically like you're going to leave a comment response to this, and that's kind of it.
There's fairly wide variety of questions, Catherine, that you can add different types like he's explaining. So it's always nice, instead of just marking a question wrong, like, no, you got it wrong, you're able to actually take them directly back to where it'll show them what the right answer actually is for that given question, which is kind of nice, you know, because like in a quiz, for example, you might type out, no, that's wrong, go back to chapter 5, but chapter 5 is 40 pages versus, hey, this in chapter 5 is this 2-minute clip, you know, or this 30 seconds here. So they're like, oh, okay, I get that math concept, you know, let me go back and try that on my activity, if that makes any sense.
Right. Although that's not what we'd be using it for.
Yeah, you're not in math, but I'm just saying, you know, like it's nice to like, instead of giving a broad statement about like, hey, try again, you know, no, it's just wrong, but they don't get to know why it's wrong, you know, letting them see that again.
Another kind of cool feature too is it does have just a running notes section with it. So students can also just take notes along with a video that's not necessarily directly part of a question per se, but they can sit there and just jot their own notes down. You as the instructor also get to see them, I believe. But that way they can kind of just keep like a running log on something.
Steve?
So, yeah, Steve.
Hey, everybody. So I always have to export my lectures into ShareStream music lectures because, you know, even if I have a recording of medieval music from 500 years ago, YouTube will flag that for a violation. I'm wondering, would that still occur if I make a private YouTube lecture video? If you have it set to private, it won't work, just because of the fact like private YouTube links are literally like they're locked down to you, which is where unlisted is the kind of minimal version of your published options in YouTube that you'd have to use. That way it's, you know, if you have the link and you sent it to someone, they could still look at it,
but they can't publicly search for it. So that's what the unlisted links will do. So it needs to be in that format at least.
Don't quote me on this, but I want to say a couple times when we've done stuff that have used different things, in my description, I'll write, like that this is from this or whatever. And I haven't run into issues. I don't know if that's the case, depending on, it might be a length thing, because ours was just a little snippet versus like a full thing. But I know they have made some changes. So I would just say maybe test it, but maybe if you include the description to say, hey, this is academic, I'm using it for, these purposes, maybe somehow their system, won't be so stringent. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
worth
that
a
could
try.
be your workaround. Again, I've done that with some stuff, and sometimes they get still flagged. It's kind of a 50-50 shot. Unfortunately, that is one of the downsides. We're trying to see if Playposit and ShareStream can work together to make that partnership work, but as of right now, it's limited to YouTube and Vimeo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Whitney.
I was wondering if you put multiple choice questions in there, if those grade automatically, like what the grading is like. I'm thinking about it to essentially ensure that students are watching the videos that I post.
Yeah, so I believe if it is just a simple yes or no or multiple choice, like you get it or you don't, the grading should auto calculate. You can also see, like we've had some instructors use this where they literally just put one interaction at the very end of the video. And it is just kind of like a quick answer. And they're using that basically to see if the students watched it. It's like kind of, don't like the terms, but it's almost holding them hostage to watch the very end of the video.
And does it actually make them go through the whole video, or could they skip forward and get to the end question?
I thought it did show like how much the duration that they spent on it.
I think, yeah, you can also see like how long the video has been watched.
Oh, cool.
So it's at like 12 seconds because I tried that, you would know.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where like the real-time monitor analytics stuff comes in kind of handy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so
Someone
we've got.
to say, I can't put my hand raised, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Hey.
I'm running out for another meeting, but so the quick question is, does it show up on YouTube? How many people have watched it because it's streaming from YouTube?
Just a.
And then the other thing I'll say just while we're waiting is if you try putting that copyrighted stuff on private, I still have lots of problems. So
yeah,
so
YouTube scans it still.
It seems to be mostly related to how much they pay. So the recording industry and folks have different levels they pay YouTube to scan for stuff. And so some things get flagged immediately, but even the stuff I found that is more obscure might persist for a week or so, and then it gets flagged. So the privacy doesn't get around unfortunately the copyright, even when I embed in the descriptors, like where it came from and source material and stuff. So just FYI.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was the first part of your question?
Yes, my question was, does it show up as, like, so if 50 students in the class watched it through the Playposit interface, does it also log as 50 more views on YouTube?
I believe it does, because the Playposit part is basically just acting as an overlay on top of the video. The video itself is still playing from the source. So if a video got wiped off YouTube, effectively it would break, but your engagements would still be there. They'd just be overlaid on top of nothing. So I believe, yeah, your YouTube analytics should still stay independent. All right.
Thanks.
For sure. Let's see, I'm going to check the chat really quick. Do we have anything?
No, we're good so far.
I had a question from Leslie asking about if the new VoiceThread links to the gradebook. It does. So the gradebook integration is still tied. It still works much the same. I do know that they're working, the VoiceThread team is working on updating their grading scheme in the sense that it doesn't necessarily have to be out of a percentage as it currently is and has been since the beginning of time. I think they've finally heard that from enough folks where their engineering team is working on it, so you can just make it out of points and it'll make it easier to grade within the VoiceThread interface and push it straight into your gradebook without it being converted to some weird percentage you didn't anticipate. So that is a back end change. I don't know a timeline on that one, but that is something to look forward to at some point in the future. So if you haven't looked at this slide deck yet, Kristi has put it again in the chat. As you can see at the end, we do have a bunch of additional resources for you guys. They're pretty much just to kind of elaborate on some of the things that we went over today, to give you some more. So for the rich content editor, Canvas has put together a video highlighting some of these changes. There's a web page with all of that. There's the full instructor guide. We've included some VoiceThread links that go specifically to the new assignments to help you get through them and set them up and work with them. There's also a guide there for the students. If you do use the new assignments in VoiceThread, it'll help them kind of just understand that some of the changes, if they hit any roadblocks or anything, it'll walk them through some of the changes in the interface, as well as some Playposit stuff. And of course, the services that we're offering at TLI. We do have our Get Support page, which kind of outlines all the different ways you can get a hold of us. We have our drop-in Zoom support that we're continuing this semester. So we will have folks on deck to help you guys live with questions in Zoom, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We have our knowledge base, which we are continuing to build upon as new stuff comes up. And if you're interested in any of the webinars we did over summer on some of our tools that we have, including like Canvas, we had one on Zoom, we had one on Hypothesis. There's a whole list of stuff that we've done with partners from those companies, walking through some ins and outs. So if you're just wanting to see what else we got and watch some information on how you can use them in your classes, we do have that archive of webinars, as well as our scheduling page where you can schedule a consult with myself, with Kristi, with Ben, or just anybody on our team. If you want to set aside some dedicated time with one of us to walk through some stuff, or got some questions, or just say hi, you've got the drop-in support too. So want to make sure you guys have access to all of this. Yeah,
I just want to add real quick. We're continuing with webinars this semester, but most of them are going to be featuring sessions actually co-facilitated by our faculty mentors that we have. So there'll be less tool-based more than likely, and more probably pedagogical, bringing their own knowledge as faculty on our campus for a given topic. They haven't been decided yet. They're still signing up, and I'm still working on the back end to get them all signed up. And then as they're available, I'll be adding them to the events calendar so you all can start registering. So I just wanted to let you know, because those will also be added to our knowledge base for the fruition of forever, hopefully. They'll be a great addition, I think, to the current ones that we have with either our companies or that we ourselves have facilitated, and now bringing in these different voices for a whole new offering of stuff.
For sure. So keep an eye on that Division of Academic Affairs calendar. That's where all
some of them are going to be Tuesdays, I should say. 3 of them so far. Tuesdays work better for them than Wednesdays, but they're always going to be 12 to 1, whether it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Primarily, I try to shoot for Wednesdays, but I can say I do know for a fact that 3 of them are Tuesdays from 12 to 1. So.
All right.
Thank you. I have a question that probably got answered when I wasn't here, and I'm so sorry I had to miss the beginning. But is the rich text, are those changes, is that for students as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
do they have an option to opt in or not?
No. The reason for that is basically it's controlled at the course settings level. And of course, you as the instructor are the one that can turn those on or off. The students can't. So if you were to opt in or opt out and switch back to Classic, all the students in that class would have the Classic editor. And if you leave it as the new one, they'll all see the new one.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you ever run into snags where, students are continuously saying they can't find something in it when submitting an assignment or something, you can always reach out to us and we can help you figure it out. Maybe it's something that we overlooked and we can put together a little guide to help them with that.
Okay. And have they got a notice that it's changing potentially?
We didn't push a notice out to students about it. We were primarily focused on faculty, as you guys are the primary content generators in your courses. The student interaction with it is a little more minimal. So no, we didn't. But these resources that we've shown that we have linked in here, those will work just as well for the students too, because it's the same interface.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Steve, did you have a question? Steve Marsh, by the way.
Yes, I'm sorry. I tried to copy and paste it, but it didn't work. So I'm wondering about Lockdown Browser. Does that still only work if students are taking an exam on desktop or a laptop computer, which of course discriminates against students who can only afford like a iPad or phone?
Yeah, technically, I think that Respondus has a Lockdown Browser application for iPads, but from what I've heard across the board is it's horrible, both in just accessibility and just version updates and everything from the ground up. The experience has been really, really poor for students. So as we've kind of been doing since the beginning, we really advise against using Lockdown Browser unless you have a really, really stark need for it. And if it is something you want to use, we have a process where you have to fill out a form requesting access. That has to get chair approval. And then once it goes through that process, we can activate it in the course. Yeah. So it's not a global.
If you don't mind, I'll just mention to everybody, I just attended the Academic Integrity workshop. It was really interesting. It was really shocking. I had no idea that there were all these cheating websites that students are using to formulate their research papers, and I'm completely shocked. But it explains a lot of what I've been seeing the last couple semesters from student submissions.
And unfortunately, they're not new. They've been around a bit.
They were new for me.
Right. Well, the other thing I will say too, though, is with Lockdown Browser and really any of these online proctoring tools that folks are using, there's ways to get around them as well. Literally, if you do a Google search of like how to cheat Lockdown Browser, you'll get 15, 20 pages of how to get around stuff. The other part of them that is really unfair about them is a lot of times what they'll do, because they're kind of algorithmic machines, and they're trying to use like background stuff happening in a video, and they'll cause that as like disruption, or they'll count it and they'll flag an attempt based on that. And some software will even shut down the exam, which is we're working from and taking classes from home is super unfair. Like there's been cases where there's been a student there and they're watching their little brother, and their little brother's in the background moving, and because of that they couldn't even finish the test because it kept kicking them out. So these tools, as well-intentioned as they may be, they really provide a lot more obstacles than they do what you're actually wanting.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael.
For sure. It looks like we have some people. Yep, so we are at 3. So if anybody has to go, by all means, feel free to hop off. We do have, again, this is being recorded, so we'll have that, and then follow-up questions. You can always, shoot them our way. But for those of you who want to stick around and ask questions, we got time. Whitney.
Yeah, thank you. Do you happen to know if the Playposit would work with closed captioning? I have a student that needs to have all of the videos captioned.
I want to say, and Kristi, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I believe if the YouTube video that you're referencing has captions, the captions will still work. It doesn't it all relies on the source video. So if the source video has captions on it, then yeah, it'll totally work. Also, if you're doing, if you're using Zoom cloud recordings to do your own stuff and then pushing those out to YouTube, if you have the automatic transcript function turned on for those, which I believe is defaulted now, but if it's not, you can always turn it on. When you download the Zoom cloud recording to your computer to upload up into YouTube, you can also download, or should download, the transcript file as well. And you can upload that transcript file into YouTube as a caption file, and it'll map. So that way it'll kind of just take all of that with it. YouTube also has its automatic generated captions, it's pretty much the same kind of tech that Zoom uses. But if you already have it and you pull it out of Zoom, it saves some time waiting for YouTube stuff to go through and generate that for you.
So Whitney, I'm going to add my 2 cents now.
Yeah.
Knowing that you have students that have accommodations, my concern is this so far applies to if the YouTube video itself is captioned.
Right.
Whereas if this is a video that we're having to send out a caption that's going to return what's called a smart player link. That won't likely work.
Okay.
Because as a third-party video, we don't have the ability to put the transcripts or the captions into that other person's video or that company. So in that sense, it doesn't. But if the video itself has captions and stuff, that does come through.
I wonder if I could just make
if
some
you're
other
doing your own videos, definitely make sure you have captions on there. And the tech transcript he's mentioning is a great starting point, for you. That still might require some editing, because obviously it might not get it like exactly right as it tries to, capture some of our fancy words and making different things like that. That makes it, that helps.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Anybody else have any lingering questions for us before we let you all go?
They don't want to leave. It makes me so happy.
I know, it's so great to see all you guys.
Just saying.
Michael, do you see a chance of getting this in Playposite in ShareStream at some future date? Is that
I'd like to stay optimistic. I know that there was an initial look at it, and it was looking really difficult just from Playposit's side, because the not getting too technical with it, the API stuff that ShareStream is built on was a different framework than what Playposit's using. So it would have to be like a completely custom solution to make it work. Whereas some other ones, I know they have an integration for other media platforms like Kaltura and things like that. All of those do, I will say that those additional integrations do all come at an additional cost as well in the licensing. So even if they got the architecture built, then there would become the whole other factor of being able to pay for it.
Got it.
So yeah,
Right,
so right
thank you,
now,
though.
and yeah, for sure. And since it is we're still technically in a pilot phase of it, we are keeping it just to the YouTube and Vimeo. There's additionally, if we were to move to full adoption, there's the potential of that, we could hook Zoom directly into it. And then they also have like their own uploading feature where you could upload your own stuff straight into their platform. But again, those all come at premiums, unfortunately.
Sorry, I turned off Slack notification sounds on my computer, but it's still, I don't know, Slack just wants to make sounds whenever something comes through. So y'all get to hear it.
Al just wants you to know and wants us to know.
I know.
Sorry, guilty.
Thank you for all you've done to help us with this break too. I know that I'm slow through all the things, but it's super helpful, and I'm just I'll be taking the slow food approach to this stuff.
No worries. I'm gonna try to make all these different changes as easy as possible. This was one, like the content editor was the big one that we knew was coming. We just kind of waited till it was going to be forced, and we're like, okay, brace for it. But
if
fortunately,
Stacy, go ahead. If Stacy is slow food, I'm sous vide. And I don't like sous vide. There's no color.